Hey, welcome to the Weekly Chaos. This is the Velocity Chaos podcast news show. We are going to do all the top line news from all the different verticals out there. Pop culture, video games, movies, sports, current events in the world. We're really excited to bring this new format to you guys, and you'll be seeing it on a weekly basis going forward. So please let us know what you think, and we will continue to polish it up so that you guys can stay informed. Thanks so much.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Welcome to the Weekly Chaos. We are coming to you at the speed of sound from the Hexapod Soundhouse in Cleveland, Ohio. I'm Nick.
I'm Luke.
And I'm DJ Update.
Big shout out to our returning listeners and a coy hello to our new friends. The Weekly Chaos is a headline news show that's all about variety, being eclectic, seeing the world from different angles. We stay out of the dumb stuff so we can stay in the fun stuff. And we don't know where we're going, but we know we're going to get you there faster than you can say.
Follow us on Instagram at Velocity Chaos Pod, Twitter at Velocity Chaos P, and on Facebook. Also, drop us some stars on Apple Podcasts, some love on Spotify, and toss us a sub on YouTube. Thank you, as always, for your support.
All right, my dudes, I'm going to open the Weekly Chaos every week with a quick box office report. So we're just going to take the top films over the weekend that have grossed and just chat through them just really quick. So really off the top, Magic Mike, The Last Dance. Back in theaters, finally, Warner Brothers revealed its gross from over the weekend. Channing Tatum's abs still doing work. 8.3 million.
Laying some pipe.
Laying some pipe coming in over the weekend. It was pretty low weekend in general, I think, just because it's kind of middle of February. Everyone's clearing out for Ant-Man coming up, and it might be this weekend or coming up. Avatar came in at number 2, 7 million across the weekend, which brings its total gross in the U.S. to 647 million. It's on its way to some records. Number 3, Titanic had its 25th anniversary, and they did an event around that, 6.7 million. 80 for Brady held over pretty well, did 5.8 million, which is just great. It opened kind of surprising people, pleasantly surprising people. A lot of women demographics going out to see it, enjoying it through that. Tom Brady and Gronk just being good sports about it, I think really made it work too. 24 million cumulatively. Not bad for 4 female leads in their 70s. I heard it's a really charming film, so Paramount put that out. And to round out the top 5, Puss in Boots, The Last Wish, with 5.5 million over the weekend, and that brings its cumulative North American total to 158 million. So, man, they just keep. I was so little when Shrek first came out.
You said 5.3 in a weekend?
Yeah, 5.3.
Oh, okay.
Which one?
I mean, it's been out for a month and a half now.
Yeah, these
much.
are just the overall weekend grosses.
Oh, okay. It's still more than I make, so.
Yeah, but I mean, it's been in Puss in Boots. Just do a quick rundown. Magic Mike opened this weekend to 8.3 million to take the first seed. Avatar's holding in its 9th weekend. At that second mark, dethroned by Magic Mike, which is funny to me. Titanic was also up there in its PTA. 80 for Brady, 2 weeks it's been in movie theaters, and Puss in Boots is in its 8th week. And then just to skim down through Knock at the Cabin, M. Night Shyamalan, Man Called Otto with Tom Hanks. Missing, I'm not sure what that movie is, probably a kidnap thing. Megan is the little robot in its 6th week, the girl robot, killer robot. And then Plane, Gerard Butler, which was like kind of a disaster movie in a plane, which he does so well. So that's it for the box office update.
You know what's hot right now? Unidentified flying objects flying in the sky.
Yeah.
That we don't know what they are, but we do know what they are. They're cylindrical, but one of them's like a car size, and then one of them, they're getting shot down left and right.
Oh, you're talking about these Chinese balloon things.
It's allegedly.
Allegedly? I thought that was confirmed.
And then now they're like, no, they're not ours.
Oh, what?
Yeah, that's who knows.
Oh, I thought you were about to spit some knowledge.
No, I have no idea.
Because they got it was last thing I saw was on Instagram. Like, I think people are CGI and stuff now, but they had full on fighter jets like flying after these things out in the middle of the desert. It's wild.
Yeah.
Wow. So like it's like the new Surge, because I remember a couple of years ago they had that really grainy black and white footage and that was like the thing that dropped down to the ocean and then like shot back up.
Oh,
see
no.
that thing where they like measured like how like its altitude and it like came down, but it didn't hit the surface of the ocean, and then it shot back up, and they're like, "What the heck is that?"
Magnets.
So gravitational.
General Milley was out there giving a press conference. Yeah, he said they shot one down over Lake Huron. I heard they shot 2 missiles at it. The first one missed. So
Where'd that go?
yeah, where'd that one? We're gonna sleep that one under the rug.
It hit a train in Ohio, but it's fine.
That's the thing. It's like I feel like these unidentified balloons are. It's just like, hey, look over here. Well, we got this train that's a mini Chernobyl.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and that came out of nowhere. That's like that White Noise movie, just like playing itself out in Ohio, like, for real life. It's like, oh, we just made a movie about this literally a year ago.
Where's Chris Pine? Where's Denzel?
Yeah. I mean, that's just another thing. It's like going from, well, I guess a nationwide news is we have these unidentified flying objects. They're not identified just yet. But you know. They're waiting so long, but now they're taking decisive action because they don't want Americans harmed. They want the safety of our people jeopardized. You know, all this, you know, good lip service. Yeah. And then, you know, meanwhile, you know, within 100 miles of us in Cleveland, you know, we got this train derailing with super chemicals that is like tons of stuff's dying. All these animals are dying. It's polluted the Ohio River.
Yeah, are you cool if I just jump into that? Because like I have that on my list to talk about, and I was like, I found the Independent to be the best coverage, and they're of course from the UK. Everyone else is just like trying to spam like different articles out there, and so the thing about the Independent is they are doing it like an update stream, so you can actually go. We'll post the link, but it's cool because they just keep a running list of all the events that's happened since I think it was February 3rd that train out in East Palestine. East side of Ohio, and it was like 50 cars went off the tracks. And I was talking to a guy the other day, close friend of mine, and he likes trains and he rides them a lot. He's like, this is total negligence. There's just like all these railroads in the U.S. that are just not maintained properly.
Yeah,
and this was one of the examples. I can't even pronounce like some of the chemicals that leaked out. Vinyl chloride, which was the thing that they saw leaked out, and then they're like, the only way to get rid of this right now is to like detonate a fireball, like
burn it
right
Just
here.
gonna burn it.
Yeah, so they just freaking burned it.
it's like that probably is the most ethical and quick way to get rid of it. But now you got, you know, chemicals going up into the air. What got away that's already into the ecosystem? Like that's just
Well, here's the thing about that. I read today, they said the thing with vinyl chloride, they're like, we had to burn it because you risk it exploding and just demolishing everything else.
Wow.
So it's like, I mean, now you're in a debate of like, did we do the right thing? And it's like, is it an emergency situation? What's going on? But now here's a fallout. Like there's like, you're like, fish are dying. And I was like, yeah, that might just be East Palestine. But who knows?
It's really near Pennsylvania.
It's cold. It was a flash freeze, you know?
Yeah.
No. But there's just several things like, yeah, like you're saying, the railways aren't constructed, you know, properly. They're not maintained properly. They're cutting staff. There's been like legislation on chemicals that can be transported recently.
Yeah.
And this is one that like shouldn't have been or wasn't until recently they allowed it. Like they changed the severity of the chemical. And then now these trains are running with, you know, half people. And then this train was like longer than they normally are or something like that. So it's like you had these long trains and like you get a little hitch on something. I don't know if you've ever seen.
Yeah.
I think the closest thing I can relate it to is like those videos where like people have those blocks stacked up and they're all like tipped on each other's end. And then they hit the one and then they all slide, like just causing that chain effect of them all going into place. But that's going to happen in like a big whip, like you crack a whip from the handle, not from the tip. So it's like you start on one end and it's just, it starts coiling and getting faster and faster. So it's like, I'm sure that someone was probably just putting a penny on the track and that caused enough of some kids.
Damn you, Paul McCartney. He says he does that all the time. Like but just here's some of the chemicals: vinyl chloride, butyl acrylate, ethylhexyl acrylate, like ethylene glycol monobutyl. Like,
say those 10 times fast.
I don't want any of that in the water table.
I do know ethylene glycol. It is used in antifreeze. Fun fact for all of you. And yeah, it'll make you go blind if you consume it, or like mice lead, because it smells like antifreeze smells like
It's sweet,
syrup.
right?
DJ updates like, I pour that stuff in the river all the time. I don't see fish dying. Anyway, we're all paying attention mostly because that the Ohio River runs through there. They've found trace elements of some of these chemicals in the water table. They say it's not at the level to be alarmed, but I know they have evacuated that area for residents. We should try to get that train guy in here to talk a little bit more about, he's a lawyer too, so he knows a little bit about what they're trying to reparations for it.
You know what I heard on a reparations standpoint?
What?
So a town of 5,000 people, they gave like $25,000 just to the town, so everyone gets like $5.
Okay.
You can almost get a 2 for $6 at Wendy's now.
Almost.
You're gonna grow a third eyeball, but trust me, this $5 is gonna soften the blow.
Oh man. All right, what else you got? DJ update. Hit us with an update.
I don't know if it's gonna fit in this timeline, but I just read about there was a massive earthquake in Turkey.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah, it was huge. It's like right on the border of Syria and Turkey, and it was a 7.8 magnitude earthquake. And they're coming out with footage. Like, of course, earthquakes are devastating, but like, because if you see them in urban areas, there's like the huge fallout of the buildings, this and that. They said they showed pictures of at one point there was I think it was an olive field was literally ripped in two, about 900 feet wide. They're like 300 meters, which we all know is way more than 7
With conversion.
conversion. So, but yeah, that was one of the biggest ones I read about. So like you're seeing just these, and I don't mean to be negative, but obviously these crazy images of like earthquake fallout and things like that. So.
Yeah. I heard it's like over 35,000 deaths so far, and counting, which is just sickening. Like, and then there were so many houses that they have recently built that just aren't up to code and standard, that they're just like, we got to get houses up. And a lot of people, I'm just hearing interviews with people, and they're like, we gotta, someone was saying like, yeah, we didn't go into that house. Like, we were gonna buy that house, but we saw it wasn't up to earthquake code, so we didn't buy that one. Like, and we're some of the lucky ones, like, because they're okay.
I think I was just looking at the Richter scale, like what the range is, and you said 7.8.
7.8.
That's pushing it, because like they always consider 8 and above as like catastrophic, and so this is basically in that category. It's so tough to find any silver linings in this scenario, really.
There is one, though. I did hear, the biggest article that came out in the last couple days was there was a baby and a young girl, I think she was about 12, that was rescued from the rubble of a building. The baby was covered for 178 hours.
What?
Yeah. So, I mean, that's pretty wicked. I mean, which is a beautiful thing, because, I mean, and I think the baby was relatively unscathed. You're talking about 7 days.
Oh my!
Just being, I mean, hopefully you hope for that baby's sake that it's like, it's too young to know any better. So,
but that would be crazy to grow up and to know that about yourself. Like, and be, like, I survived that as a child. Like,
chosen one.
Talk about peaking early.
Miracle.
Sorry.
That's insane. Really.
The one thing is, I did see that video of the reporter who was like reporting from the street. Mm-hmm. He's with a group of people. All of a sudden, these people start yelling, start running down the street, and that like the camera guy turns around and like this huge building falls into the street where they were, and then they come around a corner and there's another building that had just fallen down. And the reporter he's like reporting while he's helping people up off the ground and trying to talk about what's happening. And then he's also like picking up kids and like moving around this place. It was incredible to see people like trying to do their job, but also just like focus on the humanity.
Yeah, you'd get more of us if you use both your hands.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Well, or use a lav mic,
Yeah, but no, I mean, still, like, because I mean, people want to know. But at what point do you value human life in front of you next to doing your job? Like, but that is, trying to.
Yeah, I think you did the right thing, and it was well timed. So, well, pivoting over,
Super Bowl.
Got to cover that.
Yeah,
one.
we got to. That just happened this last weekend. Philadelphia Eagles against the Kansas City Chiefs. I think, as far as the game went, that was a good game.
Yeah.
I think I only have one issue with the game towards the end.
Oh boy.
and it was Hurts throwing that last ball and stepping on his lineman's foot.
Oh, geez.
I think if he had a properly planted foot, he would have hit the end zone. Just so we could have seen a toss-up grab, like for a chance at scoring. But he stepped on his lineman's foot and he like only flubbed it like 35 yards out there.
Yeah. Okay, that's what that was. I didn't see the replay. I was kind of.
They didn't show it. We went back and watched.
Oh, okay. I was. Yeah. I mean, you got to move on at the end of the last play. It's like you got to celebrate the winners, I guess, on the network. But I was bummed because I was kind of pulling for the Eagles just because they were so good this year, and that's the kind of team you want to see go and win the Super Bowl. Just a complete team, and Jason Kelce would have been cool to have him go out on a big win like that.
Yeah,
but
you can be so proud of his brother though.
Yeah. The one thing that I thought was really cool is like the commercials have not been good for the Super Bowl in a while.
No, it's terrible.
But you could tell that there were a couple companies that said, "All right, it's late night commercial time." And did you see the EV one where it's like, do you have an electromagnetic?
That was like the only good one.
Yeah. They were essentially like selling like a solution for EV.
Oh,
and like it was like buy our electric vehicles, but it's like these wives are like, if I want to go, I want to go, and like if we can't go there far and long, like I just don't want to do it. That was one of the highlights for me. But the game, I agree, overall pretty good. Felt like a bit of a giveaway. I always struggle with it when there is a call within the last 3 minutes that does affect the game, like a referee call. But the Chiefs were surging anyway. I think they probably would have gone for it on that fourth down and been like, tempt us with an OT.
Yeah.
So they would have had another play anyway.
Definite momentum there at the end. But in between, we had a little halftime soiree.
I can't believe that Rihanna let them play a football game at her concert.
I know, right? Really. We got to listen to her whole discography in a matter of 12 minutes.
Yeah.
We were watching. It's like, wow, she's floating up that. I mean, that was cool, coming down on the platforms. But then it's like, she pregnant? And Michelle was like, no, she just had a baby. Wait a second. That was like back in September. She should be, so she's pregnant again. And that's the talk of the town.
Yeah.
Of, she's pregnant. And
she's raising a Rihanna army.
Yeah.
I thought that the platforms were really cool.
Yeah.
Did you got to see some clips of it?
I saw some pieces of it. Yeah. And I mean, that's impressive from like just the standpoint of I used to work in that kind of world. Like to be able to do that. And then like as a performer to be comfortable, like when I do work like that, I'm in a harness up there and I'm sure she was hooked in, but like to create the illusion that, and then you're performing like me, I have a cage around me. She's just standing on a plate up there. Like wobbling.
Those were swaying.
Yeah. They were feet planted firmly on the ground.
God forbid any wind comes.
Full on definite, like legit Slavs. Legit Slavs.
Those were
flat-footed squats.
It was a mild, I would say mild performance overall. I mean, nothing out there egregious or anything. It was okay. You want to listen to her Rihanna Now or whatever?
Yeah.
Top
right
40.
down the pipe. Right down the pipe. What else we got on the Super Bowl? Anything else?
I was going to say, I did get a text from my brother the other day. He's like, I just want you to know that you're related to somebody who competed against a Super Bowl contender.
Ooh.
And he played hockey against Jason Kelce.
Nice.
So,
wow. That guy is a hockey player. I would not want to be on the rink with him.
Which was funny because like I was like, nah. And then he literally sent me the roster from one of their games where he played. And I was like, he still did better than you.
You're like, good job, Brent. Like pat him on the back.
This is Kevin and Brent.
Kevin.
Okay. Yeah.
Staying in NFL world for a second, there was one thing I thought that was kind of interesting and quite hilarious is that Aaron Rodgers, this guy just continues to find ways to annoy me, but also endear me to him. Like some of his commercials, I can appreciate how self-deprecating they are. But then he goes and does something like this where he announces, I'm going to make a decision about how I will be playing or what I will be doing next year. And we're all like, okay, what is it? And he's like, to find the answer, I'm going to lock myself in a room for 4 days and I will contemplate my life's journey. And you're just like, Shut up, dude. We'll roll the dice. We'll roll our cubelets and just see what happens here. I mean, he's literally gonna lock himself in a room for 4 days. Apparently, it's a lightless room. Like there's gonna be no light.
Oh, that's a big thing all the celebrities are doing right now. Well, so he actually made an announcement that I'm making an announcement. I'm gonna go think about what I'm doing.
Maybe it came out that he was doing it. Maybe he didn't do it as braggadocious as I'm making it out to be. But he definitely is like telling everybody he's gonna make this life altering decision. He's got like a couple options here. He can retire. He can keep playing for the Packers and make $60 million, or he can go play for somebody else. Like he literally he can do whatever he wants. And I just what's his name? Is it Mike Florio? Yeah, Mike Florio did this article and it was just so perfectly scathing. Just like, look, man, there's plenty of good old blue collar Americans out there every day who have to make decisions on what kind of applesauce they're going to buy their kids. And they do that without having to go in and lock themselves into their bathroom and draw the shades. Like this is actually, quite honestly, the perfect way of framing this.
Yeah. No, that's I've got so much money, it doesnn't matter. But I'm telling you guys, what's up?
It's like I tell Luke all the time. I don't care about your problems. I got my own problems.
Exactly.
Tell that to Aaron Rodgers.
I'm
he
over
needs
here
to hear
singing
it.
like a bird.
He needs to hear that. What do you got, DJ? What else you got?
Nothing too crazy. I think locally speaking, we got the Ohio State Michigan battle on the ice is coming to Cleveland on Saturday. They're playing an outdoor game at the Cleveland Browns Stadium, so that should be a good one.
Nice.
Really excited. Like
That'll be nice and warm.
nice and toasty. Yeah, actually, for the last few years, it's like, or whenever they have played, because they used to play at Progressive. It's been just exhaustingly cold. And I mean, like my brother told me a story that he went there and he was like sweatpants, sweatshirt, like an idiot. Like I was like, beer doesn't keep you that warm, dude. Like, so
Depends
that's
on how much beer.
I don't know if it's gonna freeze on Saturday. It's nice out.
I'll say hopefully the technology is a little better, but it's kind of cool. I bring it up because it's a cool thing that in the last couple of years that that professional hockey, college hockey is like readapting to, or is not readapting, but just integrating outdoor play, which is just it's a cool way to like do the heritage of the sport.
Classic.
So, something I appreciate as a hockey player.
What time in the day is it?
They're doing it at 4:00.
So do you think? How long do you think it'll be? 2 hour, 2.5 hour, 3 hours?
Oh yeah, easy 2 hour. And I mean, it's going to be televised, so I'm sure. It'll be
Will they turn the
2
lights
hours.
on eventually?
Oh,
Or do
I'm
you think
sure by 6, and that'll be the cool
That'd be
thing,
cool.
playing under the lights. So
that's got to be kind of cool.
On the plexiglass and their rollerblades.
yeah, catch a puck. You think they just throw pucks out?
You've been to this game before, right?
I haven't been to Ohio State Michigan outdoor before. I've seen like Toledo play, a couple other teams play outdoors. I'll try to make it a tradition, but this will be my first time.
Because I was just wondering if the rivalry runs all the way through all sports for them, or is it just the football?
Think so, right?
Oh no, it's hockey too. But then again, I think hockey fluctuates a little more because you get like, being a nice sport, you get like a lot of the like Boston's or Minnesota teams, things like that. So like Ohio, Michigan fluctuates, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I could see it getting chippy out there, which makes for good hockey, right?
Yeah, man. Get a couple fights in, boys.
Yeah, hopefully.
Big Tilly.
I paid for this beer. I better get a fight. $1 fight night at the game. Luke, you got one? You got something?
What about Daddy Elon on Twitter? He's coming out with bombs here. I just showed you guys one while we were getting set up here. But yeah, you log on to Twitter and Elon's just hitting you with those hot memes, just coming right out the gate swinging with some great stuff. And then you got the people. I'm drawing the line here. I'm done with Twitter. It's like, shut up.
They like
go home.
Yeah, 2 hours later they're commenting on something else.
This is what I fed my cat today.
Is I don't go on Twitter that much. Do you feel like there's a shift on Twitter or culturally in Twitter?
I don't go on Twitter much either.
Oh, okay.
But I just recently for Velocity Chaos podcast, Velocity Chaos P, I've gone on and a few times I have. It's just like Elon Musk, like right at the top. Like he's using his power. Okay, whatever. We're living in Elon's world.
There's a part of me that really believes that Elon Musk is the rich kid who just buys the cool Ralph Macchio character's car just because he can't like create that experience, so he just has to buy it. And so he's just like, how do I get popular on a social media platform? I just buy a social media platform.
It's who was that first MySpace friend? It's like that. For Tom. It's like he's like the MySpace Tom. It's like everyone's first friend. Just out there, right there, and it's like I don't tweet much. Whatever the twatting. Like I don't do that much. But I think it is seeing now like. Scrolling through stuff, I've seen. I don't know if there were ads before, but now there's like ads like in the middle of scrolling through like replies.
Oh, he's catching on.
Yeah,
I don't have anything against Elon. I think it's good to shake things up every once in a while. And Twitter's already toxic enough. Like, why would you not want to try to change something that's so like literally broken, just to see if it'll get better?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, he could be like, this isn't working. Shut down.
I'm all for it.
I'm all for it. You got anything else? You want? I got a couple things.
Can I circle back real quick? I know it's news. I just what's it called? I circled back to I was looking into your UFO and the balloon thing, which I was confused at one point because I thought the balloons were totally different than the UFO deal. But it says that the balloons weren't even like may or may not have even been just commercial research things. They had nothing to do with like the Chinese government sending it over here. So they're just like, these things are basically dead and useless, and they just happen to make their way all over here. And we got like jets like, shoot it down,
bring it down,
send it,
all the missiles.
Which is kind of rad. That's the most American thing I can think of.
Yeah. This is really serious, guys. Stop laughing.
I just know I wanted to be the guy with like 100 fireworks, just like, and fire!
Little bottle rockets.
Why didn't they like just let it, target practice for, if you can hit that,
Pull your Red Rider out.
Like turn it into like a game for like America. Like if you can hit that thing that's 2 miles up in the air, we'll give you, access to Area 51. Like
practice for our Amazon drone hunting later.
Yeah.
So I did see why these are popping up in a way is like they have whatever radar or whatever, but they're only monitoring a certain elevation and size of things. So they have like ideas of all the satellites and stuff that are out there.
Yeah.
But then these balloons are like of a size and height that they're not monitoring.
Yeah.
And they're flying so slowly, like even in their jets, they're just shooting past them and like can't see what they are. But now that they're like, they're aware of these, now they change their parameters. It's like setting a search parameter like for a year. Like, I got to look through my emails. I know sometime like in June of 2021 or something. Yeah. Like, but there's all this stuff that's everywhere else or something. But like, so they're changing up their parameters. Now they're finding more. So like
my God.
Like telling a tax man, like, I only check my mail once a month.
Yeah.
And then I have my wife just throw the rest out. I don't know, man. The balloon wars is because like the funniest thing for me was that the Chinese government like immediately was just, well, you have balloons that fly over China, and I'm just like, are we really gonna play this tit for tat balloon thing where it's just like, hey man, the only balloons that really spook me are like cousin it's like, or it's the red balloons under the bridge thing. Like when you see that shit, then you should be worried. But everything else, like, who cares? Like it's some scientist grad out of Hong Kong University who's just like, I'm trying to study like weather patterns. I lost one.
Yeah.
I want to talk really quick, pivot over to gaming. I've actually been to Hong Kong University. It's a sweet university.
Is it? That's awesome.
Yeah, it's actually really nice. But no, I want to talk about gaming, pivot over to gaming really quick. So the latest like non-violent video game has kind of popped a little bit, and it's called Blanc, I believe. I think it's a French studio. It's here it is. It's Cassis Ludi, and the CEO is Florent de Grissac. That's got to be French, right? But it's about a baby wolf and a baby deer caught in a snowstorm working together. And essentially the idea, I appreciate the article because it took like a really unique standpoint of like, what more can video games be? It wasn't just being like, violence is bad, Doom is bad, don't be a Doom guy. Like, don't play COD. Like, don't be a COD bro. It was just saying like, look, like film has become so many different things to expression. Music has become so many different things. Look at all the genres in music. Look at all the genres in films. why can't we explore new things in video games? And it kind of opened up my world a little bit because apparently people are starting to use it as like a personal expression, like almost like programming a video game around like an experience in their life, but they're creating levels out of it. And I was just like, I can see where they're coming from with it. The art is beautiful. It's like this black and white, almost like charcoal drawn, like animation style. It's on Nintendo Switch. I know it's on the Nintendo Switch, and you can also probably get it on Steam on PC.
Yeah.
What's it called?
Blanc.
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 Yeah. It's got that. Who's that? Claymation guy, Nightmare Before Christmas, all that.
Tim Burton.
Tim Burton.
Yeah. It's got a little bit of Tim Burton in it, but
that Don't Starve feel to the intro.
But what do you think about that with like the violence in video game thing, Luke?
If you don't want violence, play Tetris. All right, get out of here.
And then there's the other part of me which totally agrees with you. Is like, what's the point? Like, I mean, video games are simulations for the things that we're not supposed to do, like go to hell and blast away a bunch of demons in Doom, or
go play solitaire. Go play Space Cadet pinball.
I will get that world record, bro. Anyway, thought it's something interesting. You played that Orly one. What is it?
Ori in the Blind Forest.
Orly in the Blind Forest.
Just Ori.
Yeah.
Orally.
Ori in the Blind.
That had a little bit of violence in it. Right?
A little bit, yeah. You're killing other creatures that got possessed or whatever, or like
pound them into
evil.
the dirt.
Yeah, but that one that's a top game for me. It's puzzles and you do fight stuff. So
they were just referencing things like Animal Crossing as being like Minecraft to an extent. Well, I mean, I guess you still pickaxe skeletons and stuff.
Plus, I think it's a cool idea. Like, one, you're introducing something that's non-violent that gets you away from like. It gets you away from like that like standard mentality of like, I mean, you're a gamer, you play everything. You're a gamer, you play everything. But like, I've noticed more like friends of mine, like, who would never touch video games. That, like you said, Nintendo Switch is like more of an open idea to a lot of people.
Sure.
And then like you have something that's it's got a creative art medium. Like I've had friends of mine who are artists that will play things like, oh, it looks cool. Like they're getting into video games, whereas in another world they wouldn't. So it is kind of neat. Some people do take a separate approach, or I mean, like
totally agree.
the Last of Us. You know what I mean? A game that where that's a violent game, but it was more like a cinema based game, which is really cool.
Yeah, and they're doing these like noir, like mystery thrillers now, which are cool, which are more about like solving mysteries, like literally like they're virtual escape rooms. But to Florent's credit, like he did say like Doom still has its place. I still play it.
Yeah.
Metal, I guess, is a new game, similar storyline of just like demons fighting demons with cool guns. So, he's like, I still explore and play all this stuff, but he's just like, why can't we think about video games being more expansive? And that was my big takeaway that I really liked.
Yeah, you could have these different options. You can have driving games; those can be non-violent stuff. Puzzle games. Lolo is an old one, like going back on the Nintendo. I think that was non-violent, and it's like I said, Tetris. But then you have all the shooting games and dungeon crawlers and other kind of hack and slash and stuff like that. So I think it's good to have something that's non-violent, story-based, maybe even, maybe some parents don't want their kids doing certain things, here you go. Here's Blanc. It's a nice little story about a deer and a fox or whatever it is.
And if you don't like that, you can go ahead and just go play Minesweeper.
Bombs everywhere. I'm sorry, surprised that wasn't banned.
You are dead.
Yeah.
This just in, there are no restaurants on the moon. That's why we are developing the idea to get the first restaurant on the moon. That's where you come in. You can help fund us with donations as we develop the idea of thinking about putting the first restaurant on the moon. We have several donation tiers for you to send us money so that we can better think about the possibility of developing the concept of getting the first restaurant on the moon. We are partnering with the Solar Community Adventure Market to help us out with this out of this world idea. So send your donations to us and put VCSCAM in the memo so we know who the suckers are. I mean, whatever. This is not an actual product service idea. Just in case you thought it was, it's not. If there's something out there with the same name, we are unaware and have no affiliation or offer no judgment on the actual product service idea.
Aren't you just sick and tired of that annoying ringing that your cellular device is always doing? Because you're so popular, right? Yeah? We can fix that problem with our new top-of-the-line high-end device, Phone. Phone has all the features you want and none of the ones you don't. Phone has a 500-megapixel camera, two 200-megapixel cameras, three 50-megapixel cameras, and 12 5-megapixel cameras. The speakers on Phone will blow you away with their deep low tones and carry you away with their angelic high tones. All of your favorite social media apps are pre-installed for you to easily browse away for hours on end. The processor is snappy, the RAM is abundant, and the storage capacity is infinite. Phone is packed with every feature you can imagine. The one thing it doesn't do is make phone calls because those are dumb and annoying. So get Phone today for $4.99 down and 20 monthly payments of a nickel. If you use code VCPhone, you can get Phone for just the $4.99 down payment. What a deal! So get Phone in your life because it has all the features that matter. This is not an actual product, service, or idea, just in case you thought it was. It's not. If there is something out there with the same name, we are unaware. And we have no affiliation and offer no judgment on the actual product, service, or idea.
Very cool. We're wrapping up the show. We're gonna do a clickbait headlines just because we got it right. We gotta do clickbait. We gotta toss something to all those hungry listeners out there, hungry watchers out there. And so every week we're gonna just do a clickbait headline. My clickbait headline for you guys this week. We're also going to make it a game. They're going to have to guess what it's about. Here's the headline. Everyone hates the Pacman ass-looking boots from MSCHF.
Who? We're talking about games? That's violent. That's a violent game.
That's the headline. What do you think's happening in this story?
I think you got to get your cadence right when you say it. It's like, everyone hates them Pacman ass looking boots. Okay, sorry. I just wanted to bring the rage with you.
No, I get it. You got to the acronym. You're like, I'm not trying to say that.
Yeah. Is this like
MSCHF? It's like I almost read it MSCHF, but then I would have looked like a noob.
That's how I would have done it.
It's MSCHF.
Oh, I'm old. I think it's someone probably wearing some Napoleon Dynamite moon boots or something like and. They're hating on it, just doing your own style. Gosh.
Yeah, dude. I mean, hey, dude, just and one person was like, "Yeah, it's not bad." It's like, no, what are you talking about? And this one person's like, "Everybody hates these." I got a weak opinion on this one, to be honest. I'm with you.
No, it's all right. No, it's cool. It's funny. It's just I had to actually click on it because it was funny that so MSCHF is like a statement piece fashion designer. They're always trying to put stuff. We actually might have hit them in an episode last year because they just do random stuff. But then they become clout pieces. So like people are like, oh, I gotta have it. So they're literally these giant red boots that are designed to look like Pacman like shoes. Just showing you guys.
Oh my god!
And they're just totally impractical. They're probably just like rubber things that go up your shins almost to your knees. And the funny thing is, like, people are now just posting people falling, twisting ankles, like probably tearing Achilles tendons.
Yeah, you deserve it.
You deserve it.
Play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
I don't know, dude. There is a fly fisherman who is gonna love those things. He's like, I love these boots. No water in them at all.
I can't fall down ever. I never fall down anymore. So that's it. That's the clickbait headline for the week, man.
Nice.
Don't be a hero, mate. You look after your mates, and your mates will always look after you. Yeah, cheers.
And here we are in our Aussie news segment. What news shows would we be without an Aussie news segment? This is a tradition across all Velocity Chaos podcast episodes, but in this case, we're going to keep it going. This one's pretty small, straightforward, straight to the point. Essentially, a small trinket shop in Australia. You walk in, it's beautiful. You see some potted plants. You see some nice little trinkets and doodads, maybe a little bit of jewelry, and then you get to the shelves with the heads. It brings a whole new meaning to head shops. You can see the video in there if you want to click on the link. But essentially, like, this person, I don't know if they're like using it to dress like scarves they're trying to sell or what, but they're like these really almost ultralistic looking paper mache heads that are really freaking me out. And the eyes are painted wide open. And
oh my
yeah, I think it's so funny how like somebody thought this would be a good idea to put in my shop.
No, these are the people that actually have human heads, and then they're like, we gotta conceal these. Let's actually make some paper mache ones that look real, but they just embalmed, like chop some heads, embalmed them, and they have them there. It's just a cover.
It's just a cover. And this is in Mululaba, which is like someplace that I'd really like to go.
One of these things is missing a mouth. Like, that's not cool.
Yeah, it's like, it looks like the Dennis Reynolds doll from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, where his mouth's just always in the shape of an O. If you catch my drift.
Yeah.
But you see all types on these shelves. Like I said, only meaning to head shop.
Wow.
That would be crazy if this woman was like just killing people. It's just like, would you like to buy some heads?
Yeah. No, this is like when I figured out BJ's was a wholesale club. Not
walk in, man, this place has some pretty sterile atmosphere.
Yeah.
But I like it.
And Dick's is a sporting goods store, huh? Learn that one quick.
I loved when I was in college, I had a class and had an English teacher, and she was like in her 20s, and she's just like, what website are you talking about? We're just like dicks.com.
Got him.
But it's true. Actually, I think they own, or is it Dick's Sporting Goods? You have to go.
I think it's Dick's Sporting Goods.
Okay. I'm sure they bought dicks.com since then.
Or at least tried to, get that. I mean, that just goes to show you that in life, you can start a business on whatever you want. You can make your own heads. You can have your own wiener, sell your own hot dogs, do whatever you want to do. It's fine. Wear your own boots. You could probably wear your boots on a railroad track and cause a mini Chernobyl. That's up to you to do, because you have the freedom in your life to be able to do those things that you want. You can play your video games that are non-violent. You can dance on your platforms, carrying your child inside of you 50 feet above the ground. And, maybe you're flying high in the sky like a balloon in a pizza pie. That's amore, I believe is what they say. And, when it comes down to it, you can skate back down on the ice, just gliding around, catching pucks. And what it comes down to, it really is, with Magic Mike's abs in your face, there's no time like tomorrow to donate your funds to the people of Syria, please. That is a serious thing. There's a lot of people that have it worse than you. So in your everyday life, think about the good things you have, and it's not always, you don't have to feel locked in a box. Okay. There's a lot of opportunities out there.
All right. That does it for the inaugural episode of the Weekly Chaos. Thank you all so much for joining us. We really appreciate having you here. Again, we're going to try to stay informed and keep you informed along the way. I want to thank our amazing DJ Update.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys. It was a good new format to try out.
Yeah, we're going to definitely keep polishing it up. It's going to be a great time. And we'd love to hear back from you guys across all the socials on YouTube. Feedback really helps us dial in this show to help keep it fresh for you guys. So, this is Nick signing off for the Velocity Chaos Podcast.
And this is Luke signing off. Thank you, guys. Please let us know what you like, what you didn't like. And if you have any topics you want us to talk about each week, let us know, and we can add that into the mix. So like we always say, when they're crashing trains, look to the sky for the balloons. Have a good one.
That was the Weekly Chaos, brought to you by the Velocity Chaos Podcast. Thanks so much for tuning in and getting your weekly dose of news updates. Make sure to check us out on all your favorite social media platforms at Velocity Chaos Pod and podcast at velocitychaos.com. As always, we appreciate your support. Please tell a friend, and thank you once again.